Hello and welcome back to the Fiat Ducato Build Series. If you're new to the channel, I'm Naz, and together with my wife Rosie we're turning this panel van into a tiny home on wheels. In today's video we're going to be showing you exactly how we built this floating bed using IKEA Skorva beams, but with a rather unique feature. So stick around to see exactly how we built this bed from start to finish and to see it in action. So before we actually get started with building this bed, I think I better tackle the back to an empty van, finally. I want to talk you through what we're going to be doing to actually get this bed built. A lot of people who build Ducato vans, they opt for a fixed bed in the back. Now that's usually the case with medium or long wheelbase vans, but in my case I don't have the luxury of all that space. So what we've decided to do is half of our bed is going to be fixed and then half of it is going to be sliding out into the van over our seats. I'm going to be using these sleepers. Picked these up from Wix. For the length of the wood it was relatively cheap. These are essentially going to bolt to the sides of the van with rivnets and M8 bolts straight through the wood, and then on this top face we're going to have our Skorva beams sat on top. Obviously in the back end they're going to be screwed, and then the sliding mechanism is going to come all the way out to where the bed finishes. Now I've just got to get my head around actually doing it. I assume it's going to be quite an easy task, but as with everything with van life, beams measured out, I just need to take these over to the table and use a mitre saw to actually cut these to size. I've gone for 125 centimetres from end to end to give myself enough room for the beams to actually slide freely. Even though the small double in the UK is 120 centimetres, the extra 5 centimetres, I thought what I'm going to do is have it going 125 centimetres into the van, and then at the back of the van I will have two shelves on the back doors, and when the doors are closed there'll be an insert of foam to give myself an extra 5 or 10 centimetres to bring us up to almost a full double bed. It's about an hour later now, to be honest. Once I'd actually cut the beams to size, I realised it didn't make much sense going around this beam, mainly for structural integrity. If we were to go around that beam, it would mean the last Skorva beam that would be supporting the bed would only have around about 2 centimetres of support to it. So what I've decided to do instead, I've reduced the size of the beams that would be holding the Skorva beams up down to 112 centimetres. That brings it just in line with the main van beam. I've done some testing with the Skorva beams as well as the slats, and if I overhang both slats by around about 3 or 4 centimetres, I should negate the need to actually extend these sleepers any further than I need to. So it's overall going to be a much stronger design, and it just took a little bit of head work, if I'm honest. So where these sleepers actually go up to, it is a curved edge. So I've literally put an angle on my mitre saw on a test piece. I did the test piece, made sure it fit nice, and I've gone ahead and transferred it onto my main bed beam, which now sits nicely up against the van, and also comes right to the back here, which is where I wanted it in the first place anyway. So I'll show you that now. Instead of it overlapping this main bit of the van, bringing it back so it now slots nicely in place, comes right to the back of the van, but also doesn't encroach on this space and is nicely contoured to this curved edge here. It's going to be bolted in loads of places right to this rib, so it's got the whole structural integrity of the van to support this bed. Tools for the job. I picked up this riv nut gun on Amazon. I'd read online that the riv nuts that come with the actual gun itself aren't the best. So I went ahead and picked up some stainless steel riv nuts, again from Amazon, and I'm just going to use the M8 bolts to actually put threaded riv nuts into the side of the van and then secure down with M8 bolts. So the idea behind the riv nut gun, as I'm sure you would have seen on countless other YouTube videos, because this is basically where I got the idea from. This is the gun itself. All you do, take your riv nut, screw it on the top so it's tight. You insert this into the steel of the van with either one of the holes that's already there or an actual 8mm hole that you've drilled yourself, and you literally just clamp it together, and it's really hard to do. So you can see there, once it's compressed, it basically sandwiches the riv nut to the metal of the van, making a secure fitting for any bolt that you want to put through it. So now I'm going to move on to using the stainless steel ones and actually put them in the van. Bloody hell. They weren't lying when they said this was a hell of a job to do. I pretty much took all my strength to get that through, and I guess because it's stainless steel, it's much stronger than the ones that actually come in the pack. And there we go, that's in. I just used the pre-existing hex holes. I must admit, that is absolutely solid. So I've pretty much been racking my brains about how I was gonna know where to drill through the beam in order to get into the riv nuts that I've installed. So I saw an idea on YouTube. I think it was our van plan that I saw it off. He used blue tack or Play-Doh and basically stuck it on the back and offered her up to the riv nuts, and the riv nuts made then an impression on the blue tack, and then he just drilled straight through those holes. So I haven't got any blue tack or any Play-Doh, so I'm gonna use some old mastic tape from when I did the roof lights. Let's see how it goes. Nothing's ever simple with van builds, is it? You think something's going to take you an hour and it ends up taking you 3 days. It's definitely a massive learning curve. But if I can do it, then hopefully I'm inspiring anyone who watches this that they can do it themselves. So it worked for a few of them, but not the rest. So it's been a little while again. The mastic tape obviously didn't work because it was too sticky, so I decided to just do it the old fashioned way and measure each hole and measure the drop from where this needs to sit at the top down to where the bolt needs to be, and it's worked out alright. So I'm going to get these in and then we'll see how strong it is. Quite happy with that. I'm going to add washers, just waiting for those to arrive, and then I'm going to basically take this off, put a washer behind where the bolt is, put a washer on this side, and also secure it in place with a wing nut as well. It's really strong. Obviously it's not going anywhere. When I move the beam, it moves the entire van, so that's what I was really going for. The other side should go much quicker, seeing as I'm basically going to go off the measurements I used for this one and just do it on the other side. Okay, you join me now quite a bit later, after I had spent so long trying to work out how I was actually going to do the first beam. I had to take a couple of hours just to relax and recharge my mind in order to tackle the next one, but that one's gone in absolutely fine. So the next test was now to put one of the Skorva beams on and see if it sat nicely, and it does. But we all know the real test is whether this actually takes my weight or not with just one beam. Let's find out. This is a little bit scary. Oh, it does. There we go. It's still kind of sketchy on the mind because I realise I'm only being held up by a bit of wood and a few bolts. However, yeah, it takes my weight. I'll take my slides off, we'll do a real test. Okay. Yes! This van build is driving me insane. However, you've got to have fun where you can. Now that I know this is stable, I'm confident in the fact that this design is really going to work. I just need to figure out now the spacings of my Skorva beams and also the slats, and then I'll show you what the sliding mechanism looks like. Okay, you've joined me now 3 months after that last clip. The reason I've left it so long to release this video is basically because I wanted to see if this system actually worked and if this bed was fit for purpose, basically. So me and Rosie have been out in the van 4 or 5 times since we built the bed. Now we can confidently release this video and say that this bed truly does work. So in the last clip you would have seen that I showed how the sliding mechanism works. Since then, off camera, we secured each of the slats down using just a screw at each end. Obviously the first and third beam are fixed and they're screwed right down into the beam that you saw me put up right at the start of the video, and then beams 2 and 4 make the sliding mechanism. So I will show you how the sliding mechanism works today. Okay, apologies that this camera angle isn't as far back as I'd like it to be. It's a small van, there's not many angles, but this is pretty much the best I can do. You may be looking at this setup and thinking, I haven't seen a video of the carpet or the back doors being done or anything like that. They had to come. I just really wanted to get this bed video out. Apologies that they're not in perfect order, but it will be coming maybe the next video or the video after that. As it stands, this is pretty much a single bed, but literally all you do, and there's going to be a handle here, all you have to do, and I'll come this side, is slide it out, and it slides out to the end where the central beam is, both sides, and then you get the small double. And this is really strong. I mean, it has no problem taking my weight at all. We've got a king size bed in the house, so it is a little bit of a trade-off when we're coming into the van, but to have a full-size small double, both in width and length, in a van of this size, we couldn't really ask for more. To make this slide easier, we've carpeted both sides and brought the carpet down underneath the beams. And on the beams we've put little blocks of 25mm wood covered in carpet as well. So the sliding mechanism is carpet on carpet, so it slides really nicely. And this is the mattress we went for. We decided to go for a trifold mattress by Inofia. It's on Amazon. I think the small double was £170-ish, but don't quote me on it. I will leave a link for the mattress in the description. It's 3 mattresses, but the joins, rather than being vertically, they are down the width of the bed, and they're all joined up, and the cover's removable. It's great. So I'll show you how it folds out. Okay, once again, camera angle not the best, and I'm sorry if this isn't going to be the best view of it, but all we've been doing is just pulling the bed base out to size, spin this around, and then flip it up on its side, into the middle, and then I've just put it on backwards. 2 seconds. So put it up on its side, into the middle, and then literally fold it out, smack it down in a few places so it fits, and then there we go. And this mattress is really comfy. In terms of actually sitting up in it, I mean, sort of, it works, but again, sacrifices. We sacrificed the height so we could have a massive garage, and so this could slide out over our seats. So this was all thought of right at the very start of the build. But this is absolutely great. I mean, I'm 6 foot and I can stretch out no problem at all. And I think that's a good place to call it a day on this video. I really hope you did enjoy this, and I hope it inspires at least one person to give this design of bed a go. It's not going to suit everyone, but it certainly suits us. If you enjoyed today's video, then feel free to drop it a like. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There's going to be loads of videos coming very soon of the rest of the build, so stay tuned for what's to come. Until then, I'll see you next time.